Hey YouTube, what's going on? It's me, Crazy Kembe. Wow, it's been such a long time. Well, not really. But anyway, how's everybody doing? I'm doing well and I'm doing fine. But anyway, this is Dead or Alive Ultimate 5 Ultimate. I'm going to assume this is the Ultimate Edition, aka the best edition. But these days you never know. I mean, look at Street Fighter. They could come out with Street Fighter Ultimate. Then maybe next they come out with another version called Super Ultimate. Then maybe another version called Hyper Super Ultimate. Then maybe another version called Mega Hyper Super Ultimate Turbo. So you can see that Ultimate is not as conclusive a word as it used to be. Okay, let's talk about the story. It's terrible. I mean, I can't make this stuff up. Just take a listen.
I mean, it ain't gonna do you any good here, is it?
Hey, what do you mean it won't do me any good out here? Now apologize for insulting my baby!
It's our whole clan. You shouldn't bear this burden alone.
No, brother. This is my fight, and no one else's!
Stop right there, little girl.
What are you doing? Let me through! Oh dear, this is terrible. Tokyo's really scary. What the hell are you thinking? You're gonna get yourself killed! Wait, Kokoro? Kokoro, is that you? What are you doing here?
You're the one who ran into me. Now apologize.
There's always that one guy that when everyone is playing these kind of games that is going to ask questions like, why are Ken and Chun-Li fighting each other on the streets? Why must Liu Kang and Baraka fight? Why are Kyo and Iori beating the living shit out of each other? I guess they listen to that guy and now all the fighting games seem to have a story, but you can tell not much went into the story for this game. It's probably because all the resources were maybe focused on the gameplay things like the mechanics of the fighting and all that, you know, the important stuff. You know, because, well, it's a fighting game, let's talk about the fighting, and as far as I know, you don't really get or unlock anything of benefit from playing the story mode. So this is what you call a fast-paced 3D fighting game. There's kind of a rock, paper, scissors dynamic going on here. So we have attacks, blocks, counters, and throws. Okay, so attacks work against throws, blocks and counters work against attacks, and throws work against blocks and counters. If you throw someone trying to do a counter, you can do massive damage. I mean, like more damage than usual. So a lot of people in this game don't really like the throws as they feel they are too powerful and need to be powered down a little bit, but I actually hear that a lot for fighting games, so there might be some truth to that, or maybe they're just salty people. Okay, so the counters, there are a few types of counters. There's a high counter for high attacks, a low counter for low attacks, and two mid counters, one for the punch and one for the kick. So 4 counters in all. Hooray! Now I remember in Dead or Alive 2, the counters were so powerful that getting one would easily change the match. There were only 2 for that game, one for high and mids and one for lows. So you could kind of abuse them and they did a lot of damage. I think this one is more balanced as they don't do as much damage but just help change the flow of things, so you still got to figure out a way to win. But then again, the throws can do massive damage if you use it against someone who counters a lot, so that is something to keep in mind. Now for a 3D fighting game, there are quite a few characters. What is it? I think it's like 30 characters. Well, I think around that number, I'll have to check, but anyway, that's quite a bit. Now, it didn't take me too long to figure out that this is not a balanced game. You're going to see that some characters have advantages over others that lets them stand on top. But it's still a fun game. It's not something I take too seriously. But now let's talk about the online. There are 2 modes, ranked and lobby matches, which are unranked. So ranked matches, you fight people and you gain points. If you win, after a while you can get promoted to a higher rank. Lobby matches, you get into a room with a bunch of people and you fight, and it's usually winner stays on top until he's defeated and that next person takes over. I prefer lobby matches as there seems to be more people playing that. So how is the online? Me personally, I like it when it works, but a lot of times it can also lag. I realize a lot of people don't have the best of connections, so when you have them hosting a room, you can run into some complications. And the servers they use for the game, they don't seem too strong. Now there's two ways to fight, single or tag. I like tag mode because you can team up with another player and actually have 4-player battles. Now my problem with this is that, let's say you're in a middle size to big lobby room and everyone tags up, okay? The whole game is going to become so laggy. So basically only a few people can tag. I don't think the lobby can handle 16 people tagging up. I think it might be too much for it, but like I said, when it's not laggy, it can be pretty fun. Now there are two versions of the game. There's a version that's free to download on the PSN and another that you can buy digitally or on this. Now I actually want to talk about the free version and how it works because I think it's a wonderful thing. So this version is called Core Fighters. Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate Core Fighters. So this version is more or less the same version as the full version, except you don't have full access to all the characters. Instead they give you 6 characters, 4 permanent characters and 2 trial characters. You get Ayane, Kasumi, Hayate and Hayabusa to play with as permanent characters. And the trial characters are 2 randomly picked characters that changes every week. Usually they pick 2 characters that have some kind of similarity to each other. So the other characters are locked, but you can unlock them, the one you want, for I believe $4. So let's say you play as Lei Fang and Jiang Li and know these are your mains, and you can just go ahead and buy those guys and be good. And the best thing about this version is that you can play online with those that have the full version. So it's a good way to try the game out for yourself, and then you can decide if you want to buy the game or buy more characters. In fact, this was the version of the game I had for a while. I played this one for about a month or 2. I liked the game so much, so I bought it, and besides I like to play almost all the characters, so for $30 it makes more sense on a financial basis for me anyway. But who knows, maybe buying the characters you like slowly, piece by piece, makes more sense, but who knows. But it's cool that everyone is playing the same game, whether you pay for it or download it for free. I think the online community will last longer this way, as usually if the game is not Street Fighter, the community is dead in maybe a year, and that's maybe me being generous, maybe 6 months, well, you know. But anyway, what else do I not like about the game? I talked about the game mechanics and the weird character balance. The thing I hate the most in this game is the DLC. They are so expensive, and what the DLC essentially comes down to is you basically buying more costumes for your favorite character. And believe me, there are quite a lot that you even have to download the catalog, and there are a few of those catalogs, so it's pretty kind of redundant to me if you ask me. It's silly. In fact, buying them, all of them, will cost you more than the game itself, but you know, these things are whatever. Now my favorite mode is actually the training mode, as it's so in depth. You can really learn a lot about the game mechanics by just going there. The amount of resources is really amazing. They even have a online simulation mode where you can play like a match could be played online. You can make it a 1-bar match, 2 bars, and you know, so on. I think that's a very cool, as it gives you an idea of how things would go if you were placed in a situation like that. Now for the graphics. Personally, I don't think graphics matter too much in a fighting game. Not to say the game does not look good, which it does by the way. It's more about it being stable, and if the game runs at a constant pace or say frame rate. And it does, as this is a very fast-paced game where timing is everything. That's why when the game lags online, it's not too fun. And the music is fine as well. But anyway, let's wrap this thing up. I think it's a fun but flawed game in some ways. I think because there's a free version out there, you can actually try it for yourself and see if you like it. I had that version for about 2 months and I liked it so much that I decided to get myself this version. I have not played in a while, but I'll get back to it like everything. But anyway, I'm out of here. Peace and take it easy.